Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. Welcome to the Sooner Surge on a somber Sunday night as the Sooners basketball program is left out of the big dance again. For the third straight year under Porter Moser, this team somehow finds a way to miss the tournament. I'm not going to say told you so, but told you so. How's it going, Jay?
What's up? Disappointing. Chief T-Bird squarely on the bubble, and the bubble popped. Listen, everything that could have went wrong for Oklahoma in the conference tournaments happened, and they got left out barely. They did get left out, and very disappointed for just for the guys, the players. I mean, it's frustrating for them, I'm sure. And no NIT, I think, is the best thing. I think you're better off not playing NIT.
Well, if you get rid of them.
No, Jeremy, I'm saying with the portal, with everything.
Unfortunately, Jay, the chances of OU firing Porter Moser are zero.
The question is, will he go elsewhere?
That is the question.
And the statement he put out was interesting, but I was hoping they weren't going to take an NIT invite. I don't think it does you any good. You're already injured. You have guys injured. You have guys that are probably going to enter the portal. You're going to have to go get guys out of the portal. All that's open already. No need for an NIT. There's no need for it.
Yeah, you'd only have about 2,000 fans at the home game anyway, but you're right, Jay. People are going to leave. They're going to jump ship. They don't like the captain. Okay?
Oh, here's two things. Here's the thing. OU should have got in the NCAA tournament. I'm sorry, they should have. Because you look at some of the teams that got in. Michigan State had a 19-14 record in the Big Ten. In the Big Ten, not nearly the conference as the Big 12. Okay? They only got in because of a guy named Tom Izzo. The Big East got 3 teams in. You've got to be kidding me.
Jay, 4 hours ago, I was agreeing with you. Not anymore.
Virginia, joke.
Not anymore,
Michigan
Jay.
State, joke.
Not anymore, Jay. Before this weekend happened, I said this team was on the bubble. I pretty much got laughed at.
Hey, don't say I laughed at you. I never laughed at you.
Second of all, this is what they kind of created for themselves. Unfortunately, injuries killed them. Yes, the injuries were bad. Okay, it really hurt them. The record was, you could see the results of the injuries. But this team lost too many games they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, and the sad thing is they did a lot better than what people thought they would at the beginning of the year, and still not enough to get in.
No, it's not, Jay. Look, I don't know, but 3 years in a row is. Let's call it what it is, Jay. Porter Moser's missed a tournament every year. In 3 years that he's been here, in 3 years that he's been here, he's missed a tournament more than Lon Kruger did in 10. Okay?
Jeremy, it's unacceptable for Oklahoma basketball to not be in the NCAA tournament in 3 years. Okay? It's ridiculous.
But they're not going to fire Porter Moser.
I don't think there's a chance they would get rid of Porter Moser. Now, if Porter leaves, that's a different story.
Yeah, and if Latrey Darthard gets his hands on the ball, they probably beat Houston and are in the tournament. That's correct.
Yeah.
If and buts for candies and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day too. Javon McCollum pulled a 3-ball out of his rear, or they lose to OSU.
Correct. Mark Little
and
said nobody wants.
Mark, I don't know where he'll go. There's talk of Michigan.
Michigan, I don't think will go after Porter Moser.
I don't like the Jay. I don't like the fans that are saying things like, well, let's give Moser a year in the SEC. No, let's not. He's had his time.
Yeah.
By the way, the gymnastics place, LNC had 9,100 people there, it said.
Women's gymnastics had the highest score ever in gymnastics, I think, today.
Look,
Now
if
that's
McDermott,
the only job.
Monty, if McDermott leaves, Moser's leaving. Yes, he'll go to Creighton if they'll hire him. But
Trap House says, nah, he gone. But are you saying they get rid of him or he leaves? Trap House.
the problem is the buyout, Jay.
The buyout's big. But OSU did it with Boynton, did they not?
They did. You got to be tired of losing.
There it is. McDermott, I guess, signed an extension. I did not see that.
You got to be tired of losing.
Hey, the thing is, though, I don't think they would find. I mean, if they did get rid of him, there's a couple of guys you'd have to have on your radar ASAP.
Hey,
Rick,
from the statement posted, I actually statement posted on.
Yeah, it was weird. Tone Loke, I'm with you. Hollis Price, Quantas White, and Kellen Sampson. If Kellen Sampson would leave Houston as coach in waiting, I don't know. I don't know if he would.
Yeah, save that money for football,
Chester.
You're right.
Hey, wait.
Save it
I
for
believe
football.
Jacobson's already on staff at Oklahoma, is he not?
No.
Oh, shit. Never mind. I thought they have the assistant. They have the assistant guy.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad.
Yes. Anyway, it's a disappointing day for the Sooner basketball team because this team should have been in the tournament. They didn't perform when they needed to. They put themselves in a bad position, which anytime you're on the bubble going into championship weekend, it's a bad position.
Agreed.
That's where they were.
That's right. Yeah, probably not. I mean, he's coaching waiting. You would think Kelvin coaches a few more years and then Kellen would take over that program.
Who's the young coach at North Texas? Because
he's only been there a year, though. A year because
McCaslin went to Texas Tech.
Yeah, so the guy's only been there a year. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I tell you who I tell you who my biggest upset threat is to run some games in this tournament. Grand Canyon, dude.
Kenneth, I don't think they're going to fire the coach. Now, and the strength of schedule, a lot of people are bashing OU strength of schedule. OU cannot control that. They beat
I'm confused with Kenneth's comment.
They beat Providence. Those teams just didn't pan out, dude.
What's the comment saying they shouldn't be trying to fire the coach? If the strength of schedule wasn't any good, then I guess they should dominate everyone. I'm confused.
They did.
On that.
They did dominate everyone, Jeremy.
Not in the conference.
You
know what his record is?
They did.
Porter Moser's 20-34 in the conference. Okay.
It's a tough conference, tough league.
Sure is, Jay. 20-34.
8-10 is no different than Lon Kruger's last 3 or 4 years. I'm just saying.
I am tired of comparing Porter Moser to Lon Kruger. It's a horrific comparison.
I'm just telling you fact. Yes, they made tourney, and it was unlucky that they did not make the tourney this year. Every other year, they would have made the tourney with this record. So that's a fact too, Hunter. That's a fact.
If it's in buds for candies and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day, Jay.
I'm tired of that, Jeremy. I'm tired of your stupid sayings.
You may be tired of them. I'm going to keep bringing them, buddy.
Fine.
You can sleep tonight with them in your ear. Hey, Jay, I saw something on TikTok called twin telepathy or something. We need to do it.
Hey, Robert, I understand what you're saying. Oklahoma don't support losing teams. Basketball done. What are you saying? They're going to get rid of Porter? I mean, here's Sooner fan. He's asking who leaves this year that's not a senior.
Javion McCollum, bye-bye.
Yeah,
Caden
this
Cooper,
guy right here,
sayonara.
This guy right there would be the first guy I call if I can't get Kellen Sampson.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go get him.
But listen, Porter's not going anywhere. I don't know why people are bringing it up. Why do you think he's leaving, Jeremy?
I hope it's because he can see that he just ain't it here, Jay. He doesn't like it here, maybe. As Ron Brown said,
were they better than you thought they would be this year?
If you'd have told me they would be 8,
Jeremy, I'm asking a simple question.
I am answering it. If you'd have told me that, they'd be 8,
hey, hold up.
I'm not answering it then.
Hold up. Hunter, you can mute him if you want. Listen, answer this question. It's not hard. Did OU perform better than you thought they would going into the season?
Now let me answer it.
Okay, it's a simple question, yes or no.
I'm not saying yes, and I'm explaining my answer, which is what good, I guess you could say pundits do. Here's what I'm saying, Jay. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year OU would be 8-10 in the conference and 20 wins, I would say yes, good year. Okay. But when they were number 7 or 8 in America with one loss in the non-con, I said no, it was not good. Okay? And Chief T-Bird, I got to hit on this before we move on to something else. I am sick and tired of the good old boy network in college basketball. Tom Izzo, I don't know what else to say. He's going to make the tournament the rest of his life. I don't care what his record is, okay?
Hey, Kenneth, by the way, they declined the NIT. They're not going to the NIT. They declined it. So they're not playing in the NIT. They were going to be the number 1 overall seed. Declined it. As did a lot of teams, because the NIT means nothing. There's no reason to play in it.
Tyler, I don't understand your question.
Tyler, you don't play in it because why? You have guys injured. You have guys probably going to go to the portal. You have guys you have to get out of the portal. The portal's open. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think.
So what you're saying, Jay, and what you're saying with your answer is this team's culture and camaraderie is not very good. Facts.
Well,
facts.
The fact of the matter is, in basketball, a lot more guys.
Facts.
Jeremy. Fact of the matter is, the portal's open right now.
Right. And the fact of the matter is these guys in Port Moses said, I'm tired of playing with each other. Let's get out of here. And
NIT is I wouldn't want to play in it personally. When you by the way, hey Kyla, thank you, Kyla. Let me say some teams. Let me go over some teams here that
and then I'll go over your comment early, so be careful, Jay.
Purdue lost in their conference tournament. Houston lost in their conference tournament. North Carolina
just
lost.
Like I said.
Tennessee lost. Arizona lost. Marquette, Baylor, Creighton, Duke, all of them didn't even affect their seeding at all. Not at all.
I said it wouldn't affect their seeding.
So it doesn't matter.
But the games do matter. And just like the video you said earlier today, Jay, the TCU OU game apparently was a play-in game. So I guess it mattered.
Hey, Teresa, she's got Illinois upsetting UConn in the East Finals. Hey, that East has a lot of good teams in there, actually. From the Ken Palm.
Fred, you're wrong. OU baseball.
Right,
OU men's baseball just swept the TCU Horned Frogs, ranked number 12. We can't say that about every man's sport, okay?
Yeah, OU baseball's on a streak, good heater right now. That's for sure. They dominated.
Men's gymnastics are pretty good, I thought.
6-0 in Big 12 play. Yeah, Penny Hardaway said no. Pittsburgh, Jeff Capel said nope, don't want any part of it.
Rick Pitino said no thanks.
OU was not the only team that declined it. Most teams did. I would love to know what Tom Crean said about it.
What did Tom Crean say about it?
Somebody said on here that he went off on OU about it.
Good.
Hey, Topher, I agree with this, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I really don't.
Fans can donate to basketball only, Jay.
Yeah, but Jeremy, I just don't think you can compete when football's the monster at your school. You got to have so much for the football program.
I think that baseball has a pretty good following, and if football won, if basketball won, they would as well.
It never did.
Fred, what do you mean? Even the football program?
It never did, even because they're saying the last few years the football program hasn't done much. I mean, can we say one thing here that's true? In men's sports, football, basketball, baseball, won national championship since 2000.
Yeah, it hasn't been great, Jay. I definitely think that the parity in maybe the women's sports aren't where it is in men's sports.
I will say this. I've said this before on the live show. I don't think I will ever in my lifetime see an Oklahoma basketball team win a national championship. Just don't think it can happen.
It's hard to do. I mean,
I hope something changes, and I'm wrong, but I just don't see that'll ever happen. It hasn't happened before. Why would it happen now?
Well, I had 3 boys today at the house disappointed. We watched the first selection show, didn't see our name, very upset. And then they wanted to watch the NIT selection. And then right when it comes on, we realized that OU has declined it.
I remember the all college. The all college was a good tourney. I liked it.
Now, Trey says give Porter 1 more year.
Hey, Porter's going to get another year for his first year in the SEC, but here's the problem, and I agree with this.
It's going to be a totally new team again.
Trey, it's going to be a totally new team. Here's the
Why can't Porter Moser keep people around, Jay?
You got to keep a couple of guys specifically. You really need to keep Jalen Moore, big time. Got to keep Jalen Moore, and you really need to keep a guard because you're losing Suarez and Darters are gone. You need to keep either Uzan or McCollum, one of them. You got Forsyth coming in. You got the guy, I cannot pronounce his name. That's unbelievable. I cannot pronounce his name. He's unreal. Unreal.
Kylie, yeah, we had Ricky Grace and company. Could have beat Danny Manning. Didn't get it done. Porter needs to be processed. And I got my thoughts on McCollum, and I won't say them on here. And I'm going to exercise some self-control. You can call me out all night. I'm not saying my thoughts on Javion McCollum. Not worth getting into.
So you just did a teaser, I see.
You are correct, Chester. If DeMarco plays against Florida, Stoops would have to.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Likely, though. Likely.
You don't know that.
Likely. I didn't say it was guaranteed. I said likely, dude.
OU was likely to get in an NCAA tournament this year, and they didn't get in. So
no, you said they were a lock. Remember, Jay? You said it a lock. You said it was a lock. Boy. You said it was locked. I said boy. Bubbles. I got laughed at. Okay?
405 boy. I understand where you're coming from where you say you can't recruit. But I think Uzan and Owe were both highly top 100 kids. Now, Owe, I don't know what happened the second half of the season with him. And Uzan as well. Uzan did not play good down the stretch. I think they were pretty good players. Now, if you're saying he's not either developing or he's not recruiting well from what, you look at guys and maybe it's you think they're better than they are, maybe so. I would agree with that.
Eric mentioned Chris Brown in that game. Chris Brown's a guy that a lot of people did not like. He didn't have really the pizzazz, didn't have tons of speed, but he did pretty good, Jay.
Yeah, he did.
He was a lot better than people give him credit for being. But I'd still like to have DeMarco Murray.
Are you about out of bubbles?
No, I still got plenty, Jay. I'll have enough for next year, Porter Moser's team. DeMarco is good for 10 more points. And look, we can sit here and play the would have, could have, should have, but didn't in basketball, in football, whatever you want to do, but it doesn't do anyone any good for that. Let's talk about some other things.
Here's the thing. You can be close. It doesn't count. Results is all that matters. And the fact of the matter is Porter Moser's been at Oklahoma 3 years, and they have not made the NCAA tournament. That's not good. Trey, I think the biggest loss.
This is right. It was sold out, Jay.
Well, the Texas Tech game before that was the biggest loss when they missed all ton of free throws and killed them. That game killed them. Both those games, that homestand. God.
Hey, almost also counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. And, hey, I know The Odd Couple, Brian. I've seen it. My dad watched it all the time. Our dad did.
Hey, Teresa, these are Fan Stop shirts. These are OU shirts, by the way. I don't know if you can see the Sooners.
These are This was the March Shirt of the Month Club. Right. Again, fanstop.com. You get in the Shirt of the Month Club. You get a new OU shirt every month. And they're all legit. They're all different. They're not your everyday basic shirts. They're pretty great.
Yeah, Trey, if they beat Houston, they're definitely in. But I don't know. I mean, Iowa State got kind of hosed as well.
Horseshoes, a leaner counts a lot of points. Not as much as a ringer, but
if you almost get a leaner, it doesn't count. So,
Colin's in his hot tub watching the Sooner surge.
Hey, Colin's on
Yeah.
spring break, right? Spring break
I
time.
was right, Robert. I was right, Robert. I wish I would have been wrong, but I wasn't.
How do you think OU football will finish? I've already said 9-3.
9-3.
Jerm, and let me just use this opportunity. Robert put it in. I'm going to use this opportunity to say, I was flat out wrong, guys. I can admit when I'm wrong. That's one thing about me. When I'm wrong on something, I'll be the first one to admit it. I came out a week ago and I said, hey, I think personally, my opinion is OU's a lock. They're going to get in. Now, all the pundits had OU locked before the Big 12 tournament. Mass chaos happened. They missed out. So I was dead wrong, guys. Even on last night's show, I said, they're still going to get in and probably have the play-in game. I was dead wrong. So apologize for being wrong, but I was dead wrong. Jeremy, you were correct.
Ron has 8-4, just like Eric. Trey, you're right. OU lucked out against in Bedlam. I mean, that's a fact. Hey, and look, Richard, this is one of my main complaints about Porter Moser. He can't keep players. He can't keep coaches. Joe Bamasil scored 20. Bijan Cortez was doing really, really good.
Jeremy,
just a second. Jalen Hill left. He couldn't keep guys that played for him. It's ridiculous.
But this is part of the problem with the portal. The portal window is so small. You have to get guys so quickly before they go somewhere else. You cannot build a true relationship with those guys. They don't even know what they're getting into with you as a coach. You don't know them as a player. You're just trying to get guys before somebody else does. And that's a freaking fact. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's
portal window makes no sense, Jay.
Hey, Jeremy, how many high school kids that Porter Moser have brought in have left?
He doesn't play him, Jay.
Well, I'm just asking you.
Caden Cooper will be one.
It's very hard. I agree it's a problem, but I think it is very hard to really know the kid and for the kid to know the coach. You just don't know.
That is correct. 405, boy, I remember that.
They have
Bobby's got 8-4. Too many questions for OU, Ron says. What are the question marks, Ron, in your opinion? What are the question marks? Mark, I think there's 15 on the squad. I may be wrong by 1 or 2.
And this is true, too. Where was it up here?
Yeah, Lori, OU's not going 12-0 in football next
year.
The
Hub, thanks for joining tonight. This is true. They're not getting very good play. They're getting players from smaller schools, but they're not panning out to be really, really, really good players. I mean, go back and look. The Groves brothers, kind of role players. McCollum had a good year early on. Big 12 play, just like Grant Sherfield did. Big 12 play, they kind of slowed down a little bit. So, you know what you need? I mean, here's an example. I was watching today, Illinois. You know who their star player is?
Yeah, guy from Texas Tech, Jay.
Terrence Shannon. You know who one of Houston's star guard is? Cryer. Where's he from? Baylor. You're going to have to go start getting guys from other big schools to come. I mean, that's the way the portal.
Correct. And on the people that are commenting about OU's question marks going into football next year, I can get behind the O-line and D-line as question marks. Again, I don't want to argue on it tonight, but I for one, don't think quarterback's a question mark.
It is a question mark. Yeah.
I don't think it is.
How can you say that? He started one game.
Was it a question mark with Dylan Gabriel?
His first year it was.
No, everyone thought Gabriel, even when he came to OU, was going to be great out of UCF, Jay.
It was still a question, and that was only because he was in Levy's offense. They needed somebody.
Okay, my point is, I don't think quarterback's a question mark when they got the guy they want right there. It's not a question who they want and who they got. He's the man, not a question mark.
And you're right, Kenneth. All those teams losing, it killed OU, period. Yeah, they're in the battle for Atlantis. I mean, that's a big tournament next year, but they've done pretty well in the non-con under Porter Moser. It's when they get into the conference.
Mez twice has said OU's 12-0 next year. I can't tell if he's being facetious or actually believes it. 10-2,
Mars
I
says,
think I think 10-2 is probably the best they do. 9-3 is what I think it'll be.
yeah, Bobby, this is well put, Bobby. Nobody's questioning, Jeremy, if Jackson Arnold's a guy at quarterback. What they're questioning is he hasn't started but one game. He could have turnover issues. You don't know
And
that.
he threw for nearly 400 yards, is my point.
Hey,
I think
you're an English major. You're an English teacher. Tell me
Yeah,
what does punctuation question mark mean? Definition.
Well, it's an interrogative sentence, Jay.
Okay.
It's following an interrogative sentence.
Explain it.
I just did.
So in the terms of Jackson Arnold is a question mark, explain what that means.
I am totally lost.
Of course you are.
You make 0 sense.
Okay, whatever.
What do you mean explain the question mark?
It's
what
pretty
is wrong
obvious.
with you, dude?
It's pretty obvious. He's a question mark because he started one game.
You're saying his play is what's questioned.
He started one game. How's that not a question mark?
I think we have different meanings of what question mark means.
If that's the case, then Joshua Bates, if he was starting center this year, it would not be a question mark, right?
You mean if he started this last year?
Highly recruited kid in high school playing center, first start, not a question mark, right?
Has he played a game yet?
What? Say he started one game.
A bowl game and he played well? Yeah, I'd say he's not a question mark.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna die on this hill. Jeez.
What? I watched Jackson Arnold with the piecemeal offensive line play arguably the best team that OU played all year last year outside of Texas. Okay?
Did he turn it over? Did he turn it over?
Yeah, he did 2 early on.
Okay.
And he got that out of his system and threw for nearly 400 yards with the new OC that everyone's questioning. And it wasn't even his offense, Jay. So in my opinion, it's not a question mark. He's got everything you need to be elite. If the offensive line is there and if the coordinator, if the offense, the scheme and all that, but I don't think Jackson Arnold is a question mark. And I already saw Jonathan Fazika say he'd be on the hill. And Surgeaholics, who's with me? Get on the hill with me, boys. Boys and girls, get on with me.
And what's going to happen here? I know what's going to happen. People are going to say, well, Jason just doesn't like Jackson Arnold. No, I think Jackson Arnold is going to be really good this year. I'm just saying it's not possible to say it's not even a question mark. That's not even, you can't say that.
Hey, Eric, I don't give a rip if someone played cover 1 or cover 28, which isn't one. I don't give it. You take what they give you.
Prove it otherwise. In a few starts, then we'll see.
Hey, Jay,
jeez. Nobody
I think
knows
the O-line is a question. The O-line is a question mark, okay? Because we don't even know who it's going to be.
Why?
Because we don't know who it's going to be. We know who the quarterback is. It's not a question.
Wait, so if Spencer Brown starts at right tackle, that's not a question mark?
What? If they told us tomorrow who the starting offensive line is, Jay,
Jeremy,
and it's all set in stone, then I guess they're pretty set on it. And by the way, Eric, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. And by the way, Jay, someone up there earlier just said something about, I'll have to find the comment. Let me find it really quickly. Respect is earned. Well, apparently Jackson Arnold's earned the respect of all the players. When he stepped foot into that bowl game, everyone talked about how they love playing for him already. So I guess he's already got the respect.
Nobody said he doesn't have respect from players. Nobody has said that. You're changing the argument, dude.
What do you mean respect is earned, Eric? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about fan respect? What are you talking about? Respect is earned. I'm curious. I got to know.
I agree. This is a great comment by Mass. Seth Luttrell needs to fix Levy's infatuation with putting the whole game on the quarterback and a single receiver. It's not championship football. OU is a quarterback, running back room, and wide receiver room. Get them all involved. Bingo. Great point.
I think the bowl game was a big game for Jackson Arnold. Hey, all you got to do is go back and watch the bowl game. I challenge everyone on here to go back and watch the bowl game again and tell me you're not impressed and that you don't think Jackson that you have big time question marks about Jackson Arnold. Watch it again.
So you're already changing it. Was the argument big time question marks or just a question mark?
Question marks, Jay.
Okay,
I watched the game. I watched it.
That was question mark. Yeah, 4 turnovers. I watched that too, Dalpost. So,
wow, terrible, Eric. Terrible.
It was not terrible. It was not terrible. Listen, Jackson Arnold is the future at Oklahoma at quarterback. Jackson Arnold's going to be really good. I think Jackson Arnold, not this year, but the next year, maybe in New York for the Heisman. Jeremy, I'm just saying, I don't know how anybody can say that's not even a question mark at all. Let me ask you this question.
Oh, my goodness. I can't.
Answer this question. Tennessee, their quarterback, is that a question mark this year?
I don't follow the Tennessee football program. Get Big Orange Ball on here. Hey, Tyler, I agree with you, and you know I agree with you. I think it looked better than DG for a lot of that game. Second of all, Vegas, Eric, you are implying with this comment, Eric, you're implying that Vegas watched the bowl game and said 6-6 because of Jackson Arnold. That is false. That is a horrible take. Vegas did not watch the bowl game and go 6-6. OU doesn't have a quarterback worth a darn.
Listen, here's the thing.
Come on.
OU has a quarterback. Jackson Arnold's going to be really good. It's not wrong for me to say Jackson Arnold's going to be really good, but it's still a question mark. I can say that. That's not wrong.
He threw Jackson Arnold threw to 3 more receivers or 4 more receivers than Gabriel ever did in one game.
I don't know why we're arguing this anyway, but take up knitting, Jeremy, please.
Okay.
It'll do us all good.
Fine, I'll take up knitting. I'll take a week off of here. That's fine. I'll knit me a Jackson Arnold jersey.
Just like Eric says, Jeremy, if you can say Jackson Arnold's going to be great with no proof, then he
can
say the offensive line's going to be terrible.
There's proof, Jay.
Jackson Arnold is super talented.
There is proof. He played in a bowl game and probably had the best play all year of any Sooner.
Hey, Teresa, that's correct. National Invitational Tournament.
Or not in tournament. Same thing. Listen, Jay, the play that he made was the best play all year.
Eric's right. Top 2 talent in the SEC. He is.
He also threw for 400 yards. And listen, he wasn't even allowed to run the ball. Let's call it for what it is, though. The 2 interceptions early were on him. He was late throwing the ball. Absolutely.
Listen, I do not
just a second. Let me get my thoughts out here, please.
I don't need you to break down every play that Jackson Arnold ran in the bowl game. I don't need that. There's no reason for it.
Okay.
Well, I don't understand. Why do you need to break down every play from the bowl game? Why?
Because I'm with Jonathan. The 2 turnovers early were on him. They wouldn't even been throwing the ball. The last interception was on him. The one he got just creamed as soon as they snapped the ball and the guy come up the middle. Okay, whatever, guys. They wouldn't even have been. I'm not going to have this debate on here.
Hey, let me ask you this.
You guys can all eat crow next year when Jackson Arnold's the best quarterback.
Let me ask you this, Jeremy. Let me ask you this.
You can all wish DG was back. Go for it.
Is the offensive line a question mark?
He ran the ball because he was scrambling for his life because the offensive line was horrible. They did not run quarterback run plays.
Jeremy, is the offensive line a question mark?
Yes.
Then the quarterback has to be a question mark. Okay. Gosh.
Okay. I don't think so because the whole offensive line is new outside of one guy, Jay. It's a definite question mark.
Hey, let's
They
go to
did
trivia.
not call. How many quarterback runs did they design call? Maybe 2.
Ron says he heard DG's not going to wear a helmet or pads next year, just a red and blue suit with the cape on it.
Oh, yeah. According to a lot of people, DG's the Superman.
Hey, let's get to trivia. We talked about it earlier. Tyler agrees with you, Jeremy. We talked about it earlier with FanStop. Go to fanstop.com. Use code SURGE. You get 10% off your first 3 months. Look at these shirts. These are great shirts. These are the St. Patty OU shirts. The one for April's fire looks great. Make sure you do that. Here's the trivia for the night, and then we'll get to some of these comments that is making Jeremy go wild back there. Here we go. Trivia. Oh, you missed the NCAA tournament, 3rd year in a row. This is a pretty simple question if you paid attention to any Twitter or anything today, but when was the last time a coach for Oklahoma missed 3 NCAA tournaments in a row? What were the years? What 3 years was it? It was Dave Bliss, correct, Jet? But what 3 years was it? That's what the question is.
Kenneth, appreciate you watching every night. First off, you can't guarantee Dylan Gabriel wouldn't throw picks. By the way, you guys that are all talking about the 4 interceptions, which he did throw, okay? You're all talking about the 4 interceptions, but you want to just totally disregard the pick 6 opening drive against Kansas, and you want to say that game was on Jeff Levy.
I believe Jay got it 76 through 78 there. Good job, Jay.
You cannot say that basically DG threw picks. A pick 6 against Kansas, I guess you could say that cost him the game. If you're going to talk about Jackson Arnold's.
Average game manager, Dalpo says.
I would take Jackson Arnold 10 days out of 8, okay?
Let me ask you a simple question. If DG was coming back next year, would quarterback be a question mark?
If DG was coming back next year, I'd have major concerns, yes.
So it would be a question mark if DG was the quarterback next year, but not with Jackson Arnold.
Here's why, Jay.
No, answer it.
I am answering it.
So
Here's
you're
why.
basing wait. So you're basing your question marks
I'm not going to answer
on
it, dude.
talent, right? Is that right?
I'm not going to answer it because I don't get to. It's ridiculous.
You're basing it on talent, right?
Partly.
Okay, that's why I thought. So yeah, you're basing it on talent. So
what I was going to say, Jay, is every Sooner fan knows with DG they weren't going to get anywhere extra. That was the peak. What they had 2 losses both years with.
But listen, just because a guy's super talented doesn't mean they're going to struggle in one of their early starts because they haven't played much.
I never said Jackson Arnold's not going to throw an interception next year. Why don't you guys listen to me?
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's a question mark because I think Jackson Arnold's going to be able to make all the throws. I think Jackson Arnold's going to be able to elude pressure. I think Jackson Arnold's going to be able to run the ball when he needs to. I think Jackson Arnold's going to be able to extend the plays. I think Jackson Arnold's taller and can see over the line and can see things. I think Jackson Arnold can make progressions better. I think Jackson Arnold's arm strength is tons better. So I don't think it's a question mark, Jay. Eric says, Jeremy, you say the portal is not the way to build a team. Go back to it, Jay.
He was basically talking about, it's trash. The line.
What about portal not the way to build a team? I've said you have to have both. I don't want only portal guys. I'm hoping one of the freshmen can play offensive line. I'm hoping that a guy who was there last year, Joshua Bates, can play O-line.
I don't get why the O-line's a question mark if you had a really good recruiting class. You got EPL, Eugene Brooks. What's the difference?
We've never seen them, Jay. We haven't seen him, Jason. The whole offensive line
really
is not
seen
from
Jackson
the portal.
Arnold either.
What?
One game. That's my point. One game.
All right, Jay. Whatever.
And
I'll stop talking about Jackson Arnold. But listen, Spencer Brown was terrible at Michigan State. I'm hoping he can be better here. Fabechi is very experienced. I will say that, and several schools wanted him. Okay? Jacob Sexton is not from the portal. Joshua Bates is not from the portal. Everett is from the portal, but that was 2 year ago. There's other guy. Garen Hatchett was from the portal, but did play in major games.
Tyler, I'm with you. I don't think he has a 4 turnover game. I think. And
by the way, Dylan Gabriel was a portal guy. You guys seem to love him.
I think that Jackson Arnold has a great year, actually. Bobby, I agree with you on Heath Azide. I think his name is getting over.
Heath Azide is another one.
I think
What about Logan?
is field goal kicker ? Jet says.
Well, absolutely. If Schmidt's the kicker,
What if it's the new guy?
it'll still be a question until we see him kick. I've never seen him kick a ball, Jay. I've seen with my eyes Jackson Arnold play in my opinion, a game where they were bringing pressure a lot, and he eluded a lot of it. Jeez, I'll stop talking about Jackson Arnold. You guys next year can eat the crow when Jackson Arnold's dominating. I don't want to hear it from you right now.
Let's move on from it. It's never going to be an agreement, so.
I do agree with you, Eric. He is what he is. Who are you talking about? Just get better because you're year low. You're talking about Fabechi, I'm assuming.
Guys, you're talking about Gavin Marshall, I think is who you're talking about. Kicker from last year.
Yes. OU family. It was an OU family too.
Yeah, he's back up.
Iowa Sooner, you're part. Yeah, that's how you said. That's partly right. We don't know the high ceiling yet. Arnold's going to reach a point. Here's what I would say, Iowa Sooner. Jackson Arnold, in my opinion, is already where Gabriel left off. So you're already at least as good, in my opinion.
Oh man, hey,
what?
I don't know.
You don't think Jackson Arnold's as good as DG?
I think he's way 10 times probably more talented than DG.
Right now, who do you want as your quarterback for next year? Then
I want Jackson Arnold, but
then you've got to say he's better.
I'm not doing this.
That's a fact, Jay. Eric, I agree. The O-line. The question is, who are the five going to be? Who are the five going to be at the O-line? That is the question. Well, I don't know who it's going to be.
I would probably right now. I would take Fabechi, Sexton, maybe Ozida on the other side. I don't know. It's up for grabs. I mean,
just say it, Jay. Just say Jackson Arnold's better than DG. That's what people want to hear you say. You're kind of hiding behind it.
Jay, I've never said Jackson Arnold's not better than DG.
I
said that.
Jay, you just sighed when I said Jackson Arnold right now is as good as Dylan Gabriel was last year.
Jeremy, it's because the way you worded it. You act like Dylan Gabriel is garbage.
He is what he is. Jackson Arnold can step on the field right now and do what Dylan Gabriel did last year.
Dylan Gabriel had some deficiencies that Jackson Arnold does not. That's what I would say. Jackson Arnold's going to be way better than Dylan Gabriel, I think, in the long run. But to act like Dylan Gabriel couldn't play for McNeese State.
Dylan Gabriel wouldn't have made it through the bowl game. He wouldn't have been able to elude the pressure.
Hey, I agree with this, okay? And I agree with Jackson Arnold's got a huge upside. Jackson Arnold's going to be unbelievable at Oklahoma. I only have one concern about Jackson Arnold. There's only it's a singular concern about Jackson Arnold. And it's, will he throw into coverage and try to force things and turn the ball over? Based off what I saw in the Arizona game. That's all I'm saying. That's why it's a question mark for me. Turnovers can lose you games.
Hey.
And that's my only concern.
I appreciate what Dylan Gabriel did. Absolutely. He had a phenomenal year. I want Jackson Arnold. And Eric, I get what you're saying about the O-line. I agree. It's a question. Eric says, answer this. How much credit goes to Bill Beatenbow when a 3-star makes NFL when a 5-star bust? Well, I'm going to say this, and it's hard to know, Eric, because there's been 5-star bust on the offensive line. There's been 3-stars who make the NFL. I will say this, knowing just how it works with coaching. Sometimes there are kids who aren't coachable. So Bill Beatenbow could be pouring into someone, really teaching them, and they're just not coachable. As a coach, I've seen it firsthand, where someone's just doesn't want to listen to what you're saying, doesn't really care to implement some of this thing. So I don't know if I can answer the question. I think he should get credit, and when there's bust, I'm sure he does take blame because I've seen people on Twitter bashing Bill Beatenbow. So I think I guess both. But listen, in my opinion, offensive line.
Wait, Sooner just said Moser was just fired.
Hunter, if it
Hunter,
was dropped
just
on
breaking news, bro. Just playing.
Jay, and here's what I would say.
Whoa, that's a breaking.
Just playing. Here's what I would say, Jay. Offensive line is a position that a lot of times does go unnoticed. We've said on here, trenches win titles. I will say this about the O-line, Eric. They have a whole lot of size. Size is not a question mark. Are they big enough? Yes. Are they good enough? We will have to find out. There it is. Moser walks out of Norman.
Daily dose from Ron Brown. Are people under the belief that being
no, I'm not, but it does give you a better chance.
I think if you're more talented, you should be better.
Doesn't mean you will, because sometimes talent doesn't work very hard, Jay. Drake Stoops is a perfect example. Less talented, got more from him than a lot of guys who had uber talent inside of them.
Yeah.
It's a fun night tonight, Jay.
Not a very fun night, really. Oklahoma basketball left out of the tournament. But yeah, good to be on here. Eric said that's a culture issue. We could continue this talk tomorrow night.
I'm not saying it's not a culture issue, Jay. It's what BV's been trying to change since he got here.
I agree with that, too.
And I can name. Okay, now losing 2 games you shouldn't is not a culture issue. That's not right, Eric. Losing is not a culture issue. Losing can come down to many different things. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad culture just because you lose a game. Now, there could be some questionable things going on. I don't know. I'm not inside the program. I know Jeff Levy and some things that happened. It does sound like it. Eric, Georgia just about lost to a horrible Missouri team 2 years ago. Actually, didn't they go to overtime like 3 games, Jay? Culture issue. And by the way, if we want to talk about culture, Georgia's isn't great with their recruiting person driving people around drunk on recruiting visits and all that. So let's talk about culture, okay? I'll take BV's culture over Kirby Smart's right now. Right now. St. Patty's Day right now. I'll take it. I trust BV. In BV, I trust. Appreciate you guys watching.
Good way to end it right there.
Oh, I love Kirby Smart's 2 chips. Not at a sacrifice of having horrible culture and doing things that they shouldn't do. And they do have tons of talent, so I guess there's the answer. Talent outwins everything else. Appreciate you guys watching the show tonight. We'll be on again tomorrow. Do this again. Talk sports, specifically Sooner sports. And we'll get after it again tomorrow night. Appreciate it.